Skill or neuromuscular related components of physical fitness. In addition to the 5 health related components of physical fitness, the ability to perform a particular sport or activity may depend on skill related fitness. Neuromuscular refers to the complex control of muscles and movement by the brain and spinal column. The components of skill related fitness include the following: speed, the ability to perform a movement in a short period of time; power, the ability to exert force rapidly based on a combination of strength and speed; agility, the ability to change the position of the body quickly and accurately; balance, the ability to maintain equilibrium while moving or while stationary; coordination, the ability to perform motor tasks accurately and smoothly using body movements and the senses; reaction and movement time, the ability to respond and react quickly to a stimulus. Skill-related fitness tends to be sport-specific and is best developed through practice. For example, playing basketball can develop the speed, coordination, and agility needed to engage in the sport. Participating in sports is fun, can help build fitness, and contributes to other areas of wellness. Young adults often find it easier to exercise regularly when they participate in sports and activities they enjoy, such as dancing, tennis, snowboarding, or basketball. Older adults can develop balance by practicing exercises such as yoga and Tai Chi. Skill-related activities are particularly important for older adults to help prevent life-threatening falls. Principles of physical training. Adaptation to stress. The human body is very adaptable. The greater the demands made on it, the more it adjusts to meet those demands. Over time, immediate short-term adjustments translate into long-term changes and improvements. When breathing and heart rate increase during exercise, for example, the heart gradually develops the ability to pump more blood with each beat. Then, during exercise, it doesn't have to beat as fast to meet the cell's demands for oxygen. The goal of physical training is to produce these long-term changes and improvements in the body's functioning and fitness. Although people differ in the maximum levels of physical fitness and performance they can achieve through training, the wellness benefits of exercise are available to everyone. Particular types and amounts of exercise are most effective in developing the various components of fitness. To put together an effective exercise program, you should first understand the basic principles of physical training, including the following: specificity, progressive overload, reversibility, and individual differences. All of these rest on the larger principle of adaptation. Specificity, adapting to type of training. To develop a particular fitness component, you must perform exercises designed specifically for that component. This is the principle of specificity. Weight training, for example, develops muscular strength, but is less effective for developing cardiorespiratory endurance or flexibility. Specificity also applies to the skill-related fitness components. To improve at tennis, you must practice tennis. And to the different parts of the body. To develop stronger arms, you must exercise your arms. A well-rounded exercise program includes exercises geared to each component of fitness, to different parts of the body, and to specific activities or sports. Sports science pioneer Franklin Henry from the University of California, Berkeley, developed the principle of specificity of training. His studies showed that a specific movement performed at a specific speed develops a unique skill. Motor control studies have shown that practice reinforces motor patterns in the brain that are specific to a given movement. In other words, there is no general coordination, agility, balance, and accuracy. The balance required in skiing is different from the balance required to stand on one foot or do tricks on a skateboard and requires its own specific training. Progressive overload, adapting to the amount of training, and the FIT principle. The body adapts to the demands of exercise by improving its functioning. When the amount of exercise, also called overload or stress, is increased progressively, fitness continues to improve. This is the principle of progressive overload. The amount of overload is important. Too little exercise will have no effect on fitness, although it may improve health. Too much may cause injury and problems with the body's immune or endocrine systems. The point at which exercise becomes excessive is highly individual. It occurs at a much higher level in an Olympic athlete than in a sedentary person. For every type of exercise, there is a training threshold at which fitness benefits begin to occur, a zone within which maximum fitness benefits occur, and an upper limit of safe training. The amount of exercise needed depends on the individual's current level of fitness, the person's genetically determined capacity to adapt to training, his or her fitness goals, and the component being developed. A novice, for example, might experience fitness benefits from jogging a mile in 10 minutes, but this level of exercise would not benefit a trained distance runner. Beginners should start at the lower end of the fitness benefit zone. Fitter individuals will make more rapid gains by exercising at the higher end of the fitness benefit zone. Progressive overload is critical. Exercising at the same intensity every training session will maintain fitness but not increase it because the training stress is below the threshold required to produce adaptation. Fitness increases only if the volume and intensity of workouts increase. The amount of overload needed to maintain or improve a particular level of fitness for a particular fitness component is determined through 4 dimensions represented by the acronym FITT. Frequency, how often; intensity, how hard; time, how long or duration; and type, mode of activity. Chapters 3, 4, and 5 show you how to apply the FIT principle to exercise programs for cardiorespiratory endurance, muscular strength and endurance, and flexibility, respectively. Frequency. Developing fitness requires regular exercise. Optimum exercise frequency, expressed in number of days per week, varies with the component being developed and the individual's fitness goals. For most people, a frequency of 3 to 5 days per week for cardiorespiratory endurance exercise and 2 or more days per week for resistance and flexibility training are appropriate for a general fitness program. An important consideration in determining appropriate exercise frequency is recovery time. The amount of time required to recover from exercise is highly individual and depends on factors such as training experience, age, and intensity of training. For example, 24 hours of rest between highly intense workouts involving heavy weights or track sprints is not enough recovery time for safe and effective training in most cases. Intense workouts need to be spaced out during the week to allow for sufficient recovery time. On the other hand, you can exercise every day if your program consists of moderate intensity walking or cycling. Learn to listen to your body to get enough rest between workouts. Chapters 3 through 5 provide more detailed information about training techniques and recovery periods for workouts based on different fitness components. Intensity. Fitness benefits occur when a person exercises harder than his or her normal level of activity. The appropriate exercise intensity varies with each fitness component. To develop cardiorespiratory endurance, for example, you must raise your heart rate above normal. To develop muscular strength, you must lift a heavier weight than normal. To develop flexibility, you must stretch muscles beyond their normal length. Time or duration. Fitness benefits occur when you exercise for an extended period of time. For cardiorespiratory endurance exercise, 20 to 60 minutes per exercise session is recommended. Exercise can take place in a single session or in several sessions of 10 or more minutes. The greater the intensity of the exercise, the less time needed to obtain fitness benefits. For high-intensity exercise, such as running, 20 to 30 minutes is appropriate. For moderate intensity exercise, such as walking, 45 to 60 minutes may be needed. High-intensity exercise poses a greater risk of injury than low-intensity exercise, so if you are a non-athletic adult, it's best to first emphasize low to moderate intensity activity of longer duration. To build muscular strength, muscular endurance, and flexibility, similar amounts of times are advisable. But training for these health components is more commonly organized in terms of a specific number of repetitions of a particular exercise. For resistance training, for example, a recommended program includes 1 or more sets of 8 to 12 repetitions of 8 to 10 different exercises that work the major muscle groups. Older adults should do 10 to 15 repetitions per set. Type, mode of activity. The type of exercise in which you should engage varies with each fitness component and with your personal fitness goals. To develop cardiorespiratory endurance, you need to engage in continuous activities involving large muscle groups, walking, jogging, cycling, or swimming, for example. Resistance exercises develop muscular strength and endurance, while stretching exercises build flexibility. The frequency, intensity, and time of the exercise will be different for each type of activity. Reversibility, adapting to a reduction in training. Fitness is a reversible adaptation. The body adjusts to lower levels of physical activity the same way it adjusts to higher levels. This is the principle of reversibility. When a person stops exercising, up to 50% of fitness improvements are lost within 2 months. However, not all fitness levels reverse at the same rate. Strength fitness is very resilient, so a person can maintain strength fitness by doing resistance exercise as infrequently as once a week. On the other hand, cardiovascular and cellular fitness reverse themselves more quickly, sometimes within just a few days or weeks. If you must temporarily reduce the frequency or duration of your training, you can maintain much of your fitness improvement by keeping the intensity of your workouts constant. Individual differences, limits on adaptability. Anyone watching the Olympics can see that, from a physical standpoint, we are not all created equal. There are large individual differences in our ability to improve fitness, achieve a desirable body composition, and learn and perform sports skills. Some people are able to run longer distances, lift more weight, or kick a soccer ball more skillfully than others will ever be able to, no matter how much they train. People respond to training at different rates, so a program that works for one person may not be right for another person. There are limits on the adaptability, the potential for improvement of any human body. The body's ability to transport and use oxygen, for example, can be improved by only about 5 to 30% through training. An endurance athlete must therefore inherit a large metabolic capacity to reach competitive performance levels. In the past few years, scientists have identified specific genes that influence body fat, strength, and endurance. For example, more than 800 genes are associated with endurance performance, and 100 of those determine individual differences in exercise capacity. However, physical training improves fitness regardless of heredity. The average person's body can improve enough to achieve reasonable fitness goals.